Oh, Haito, and welcome back to the Fairy Circle. It is I, Aito, your Moth Fairy Guide to Magic and Fantastical Worlds, and today we are finishing up uh, Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney, Justice for All. And depending on how fast we finish it will depend on what we do after. We will see. But first, put my attorney badge back on and pull up a game. Also, congrats, Emery, on being the first pupa. Thank you, Nightfang, for the 210 stream streak. It is a lot of streams, and they're all naked. I don't know why. Somebody get these streams some clothes. They're not going to survive the winter. Hi, Zoli. And we're all naked deep down. Chocolate chip cookie dough ice cream. Hell yeah. I'm sorry that you were melting. But I hope the ice cream is tasty, delicious. Okay. Let's guess a game. Real quick. I'm gonna guess Monster House. No. It is stylized though. 92%. Wolf Among Us. No. It does look like one of those kind of games. So, one of those like multiple choice adventure games. I'm not sure. I guess I could try Batman. I never played any of those. Wait, what was that? What was the Batman Telltale game? Batman, the enemy within. No, okay. Oh, it's Blueprints, maybe? Yeah. Got it. Okay, I never played that one, and I haven't really seen people play it. It does have that like kind of vibe to it, though, like Telltale-y kind of vibe with this art style. I don't really mind chat guessing as long as they give me at least, I don't know, like a minute or two to try. Because if I don't immediately know it, then it starts to become like, okay, well, chat gets it before me, then I just lose. All right, what the fuck? I hate when we have to stop mid thing, but like some of these, you don't really have a choice. Okay. I also don't know anything about Poker Night and inventory, really. So if it was that, I would not have gotten it. Okay, this request came to me a week ago. It was a request for my services on the night of the award ceremony. We met at a certain bar to discuss and finalize a few matters. That is what occurred. I trusted. Okay, right. Cool. Yeah, so he's saying that Adrian is the one who hired him. That's what it was. Okay. I don't remember if we messed with any of this, so I'm just gonna start pressing. 1 week ago? Are you sure?
Yes, I'm quite sure. I of course had my own preparations, and I was barely able to finish. When you request my services, Mr. Attorney, I hope you will keep that in mind.
Please stop. Oh yeah, the judge thinks that Phoenix is evil and gonna hire someone to kill him. That was like the big funny bit at the end of stream last time.
In any case, my client this time had a very specific date and time in mind.
A specific date and time. It was a request for my services on the night of the award ceremony. Did you ask why on that specific night?
No, I tried to fulfill all of the conditions of my client's request, but as for why, I only had my suspicions.
Your suspicions, huh? So what are these suspicions you had? What did your client request that night?
I'm sure it was all for the bear.
Do it for the bear. Wait, give me a sec. Give me a sec. Hold on. Hold on. Hold. Hold. Hold till you see the whites of their eyes. Wow. No, don't put it in my Phoenix Wright folder. Hold. Do it for. What did it work? Do it. Oh, it's a GIF file. I hate when it gives me a GIF file. It's not even a real thing. You can't convince me. I'm trying to put a bear on screen. Do it for the bear. Hold on, you know what? Fuck it. I know where I'm getting my image of this bear from. The Kingdom Hearts wiki. Okay. It's worse than WebP because it doesn't load in OBS. Do it for the bear. Actually, I should have had fucking Winnie the Pooh on screen this entire case since it's been so bear themed. All right. Bam. Also, that's the KH3 image. That's a KH3 image of Winnie, and it's just titled Pooh KH3. But like at a glance, because it's Roman numeral 3, I thought it was that the image was titled Pooh Kill, and I was like, Jesus Christ, what kind of honey's Pooh been on lately? Pooh.pung. Pung. He's lurking over me like a pot of honey. If I mess up this case, he's just gonna like crack me open like a walnut. The bear.
My client spoke of it. I'm sure there will be a bear-shaped figurine in Juan Corrida's room. I would like you to retrieve that item for me.
He must be talking about this bear puzzle. Inside that figurine was a suicide note. Naturally, the victim brought it with him to his hotel room. He was planning to publicly disclose its contents at the press conference, after all.
That is correct. And if I had not done the job that night, I would not have known where that bear figurine was.
I see.
Well, Mr. Wright, was the testimony just now of any importance?
I guess. Let me save. We're gonna be saves coming a lot in this last stretch, just so we can get through it. It was very important. The testimony just now has made one thing clear, and that is the client knew the secret of the bear figurine. Huh? But why is everyone so quiet?
Mr. Wright, I think all of us already knew that.
Oh. Witness, please continue with your testimony. Oh, Phoenix.
We met at a certain bar to discuss and finalize a few matters.
So, you physically met Adrian Andrews, right?
Of course I did.
What was that? What was that brief pause? Witness, I would like for you to give us a few more details.
I always meet my clients as a matter of principle. I have never taken a request by telephone or mail.
And why is that?
Because I value the trust between a client and myself above all else. And the only way to establish that is to speak to the client while looking them in the eye. Well, Mr. Wright, was the testimony just now of any importance?
So important. Of course it was very important, Your Honor. If Mr. De Killer had met his client before the murder, then it's unlikely he is mistaken.
So you're saying this client really was Adrian Andrews?
I guess so.
You see, it is just as I said.
I'm so lost. Who the heck am I supposed to be helping here? I'm right there with you, man. I can't tell if I should be, when I should be like stretching it out, or when I should be like trying to like advance the plot. Calm down, Phoenix. Think carefully and relax.
Now then, would the witness please continue? That is what occurred. I trust my memory, and I believe I have made no mistakes.
Think of the daily news equation. Welcome, welcome. So your client was Adrian Andrews.
That is correct.
Well, he says the two of them met, but if they did, then there shouldn't be anything wrong with the killer's testimony. Well, there doesn't seem to be anything strange this time around. You have to draw more information from him, but you can't draw his suspicion. If you can do that, you should be able to find a flaw in his testimony somewhere. Talk about a delicate balance. A lot more save slots, too. I ain't a fucking pussy. Alright. I'm gonna press these two again and say that it's not important, see if it matters, or if it does anything. Press further. Whop, 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 whop. It was not important. What the killer said sounds plausible, but in the end, it's just his conjecture. No, Your Honor, I don't think it's very important.
Well then, witness, please continue.
Okay, that didn't make any difference. Okay, this is about meeting Adrian in person, and he pauses. Let's see. Why he meets his clients is not important, and that wasn't the point. Witness, please stop sidestepping my questions.
What do you mean by that?
My question was, did you really meet Adrian Andrews in person?
I have already told you, Mr. Wright, I did. It was only through talking with him face to face that I began to trust him.
Him?
That's when I thought, I can trust this person as a client. It's true what they say about talking face to face. Well, Mr. Wright, was the testimony just now of any importance?
Did no one... Am I crazy? Did no one else... It was very important. I pay attention to pronouns around here, Judge. I heard what I think I heard just now, and I think I've got him. Your Honor, I believe the testimony just now was of the utmost importance.
Oh, really?
If that's the case, witness, please include the statement just now in your testimony.
Very well.
From when I saw him, I thought I can trust this person as a client. Should I press it? But as we now know, that was not how it turned out, correct?
What do you mean?
Adrian Andrews turned out to be a client who couldn't stick to the rules, right?
Well, yes, I suppose you are correct.
So I would like to check one last time. Are you sure your testimony is accurate? Okay. Do I present Adrian? because I mean, I think like we can all agree that so thus far Adrian has been she her this entire case. Um, it's either that or on guard, but I don't just because it's him could be anybody, so it has to be Adrian because Adrian is not a he him. I should have said okay, I got it, but and we're at full health. Actually, it probably would have been fine. I would like to go over this one more time. You met Adrian Andrews at a bar and took the request at that time,
Yes, that is correct.
and that's when you thought he was trustworthy.
How many times must I repeat myself? Yes, that is correct.
I'm sorry, but that is an impossible tale. I wonder if that specific line is harder to catch in Japanese or easier. Like I feel like even if I read the line, I wouldn't really know. It's my question is more so I wonder if a person who grew up being fluent in Japanese, the way that they word that in Japanese is as obvious then to them as the use of he him there was to me. Adrian, my gender fluid king. My king. Flowery descends. It was flowery all along.
What?
Shelley the Killer. You have never met the real Adrian Andrews.
Why would you say that?
Because you made one very big slip up about her.
So, what is the issue? What did you say just now about her?
If you had ever met Adrian Andrews in person, one look would have told you that she is a woman. Well, let's not judge. Let's not judge people's genders based on their appearance. Phoenix. Okay, I wasn't expecting it to like pop open like that.
Order in the court. Mr. Wright, what is the meaning of this?
This witness testified to the following, that he always meets face to face with his clients when taking their request.
But he has never met Adrian Andrews in person.
Yes, Your Honor, that is exactly the point. That means Mr. De Killer's client could not have been Mrs. Adrian Andrew or Miss Adrian Andrew. I don't like how much she's leaking. That's upsetting. I don't appreciate that one bit.
Mr. Edgeworth, I understand your logic on this one. However, why would the assassin make such a basic mistake?
I believe it has to do with her name, Your Honor.
Her name?
Yes. Adrian Andrews is without a doubt a very androgynous name.
Yes, I see.
Unluckily for Mr. De Killer, the entire time he was on the stand, no one had stated Adrian Andrews' gender. And so he simply picked the wrong gender to go with. Ooh, it was a coin flip. Because this was at a time when they would not have used any pronouns other than he, him, or she, her for someone in a Vigi game. Or at least not in any, like, mainstream one.
What? What is going on? Shelley the Killer. This court demands an explanation. I think I must have mixed up this client with another.
So does that mean you remember something different now? Kamiya Kiryu in Japan. I have no idea if that's a good androgynous Japanese name. It sounds fairly androgynous to me, but you know, there's certain things that you can only kind of guesstimate at if it's not your like native language.
Yes, of course. Please, if you would allow me to testify once more.
I I know he's just gonna spit out more lies. Chris in Portuguese. Chris is also gender neutral, at least as far as I'm concerned. Chris Deltarune. Uh, Chris Rental Do. Uh,
Very well, but this time, please give us the truth, and nothing but the truth.
Witness testimony request taking part 2.
Yes, now I remember I took that request by mail. There have been times when I took a job without having met my client. The request was for the murder of Juan Corrida and 2 or 3 other small things. When I saw the name at the end of the letter, I thought my client to be a man. So you took this job through a letter?
He didn't mention anything about a letter in his earlier testimony. Means he's definitely lying. Be careful, Phoenix. If you break the assassin's testimony completely, it's over for us. I know. I can't make him suspicious, but I think we're okay. Like, we can do this. As long as he's standing there across from me. Yay. No matter how strong of a punch I throw, he'll counter it.
Now then, let's begin the cross-examination.
All right. Yes, now remember I took that request by mail. But didn't you just say that you always meet your clients?
Yes, I suppose I did say that. However, there are some clients for whom a meeting is simply not possible.
But didn't you meet your client this time?
No, I did not.
Oh, come now. Let's stop with this game of cat and mouse.
Using your silkiest voice is not going to work on me.
All right, then. Just cough it up and confess.
Mr. Wright, you can't badger a witness with such harsh words. You're a lawyer, so behave like one and present evidence instead of mindlessly yelling.
Phoenix rolled to seduce the killer, and it did not work. Now, do you have any proof that Mr. Daykiller met with his client? Do we? Kinda. I mean, we know the killer met with, no, I guess maybe not. Because we haven't, I don't think we've proven that the killer is the butler, so. I'm gonna say no for now, and we'll come back later. Sorry, Your Honor, unfortunately, I don't have any proof.
I see, then your line of questioning was just another waste of time.
Rude. Sadly for us, Your Honor, that is the nature of right and wrong. Ooh. Edward with the haymaker pun. Alright, there have been times when I took a job without having met my client. And why would you not meet certain clients?
Recently, I've been receiving more requests. If I met each and every client, I would lose some nice business opportunities. Nice business opportunities? On top of which, the times have changed. It is now the age of information and computers, correct? Well, I have joined the times and now take requests via electronic mail.
Seems like a more easily traceable thing, potentially. I don't know. I'm not gonna pretend like I know how to like trace people's emails.
Electronic mail? Do you have to mail that in a special insulated envelope? I'm very sorry. I despise the shortening of words. What I meant by electronic mail is what is commonly referred to as email. Email?
In a contest of mimicry, the judge would beat a parrot, hands down. The judge does all his conversations with the solid snake method. Just repeat what somebody said, but add a question mark. And maybe an extra little comment. Anyway, so you took this job without having met your client, and the request was for the murder of Juan Corrida and 2 or 3 other small things. So desu ka? 2 or 3 other things.
Yes.
And what were those other things?
A few other things that have nothing to do with this case.
What should I do? Should I let him slide with that? No. So this. So. It's just that's it. That's my entire half of the conversation. All right, press further. Whether or not they're related to this case is for the court to decide.
Mr. Attorney,
Yes.
everything I have said from the beginning has been nothing but beneficial to your client, which is why I wonder what is pushing you to continue with this cross-examination.
Ruh-roh raggy.
Could it be that you are planning to betray your own client?
He's steaming mad.
I smell the stench of a backstabber, and should you turn out to be one...
Wait. Uh-oh. This is looking really bad. I shouldn't press my luck. All right, I have to think. Is this worth pursuing? Save. Give me strength, Pooh Bear. Witness, this is a very important matter. Please cooperate and tell us what these other jobs your client requested were.
If it's truly that important, I suppose I don't have much of a choice. The bear figurine...
The bear figurine.
After the assassination of the target, I was to find that figurine. I was told that this job was just as important as the actual killing.
And where was that figurine?
It was inside Mr. Corrida's suitcase.
And then, what did you do next?
I handed it over to my client right away.
Very important. You gave it to your client. Interesting.
This information certainly sounds important to me. Witness, please include what you just stated in your testimony. As you wish.
All right, cool. We have, let's see. Oh, is this new? Yeah, one of these was to find the bear figurine and to give it to Adrian Andrews. All right, let's press the last 2, and then I'm assuming we got to do something with this one since it's since they got added. But I'm going to press these 2 first. I found this figurine at Mr. Onguard's mansion. If you gave it to Miss Andrews, then what was it doing there?
I was waiting for her there. That was also part of the plan to frame Mr. Onguard, I'm sure. That makes a lot of sense. Well, Mr. Wright, do you have any problems with this piece of testimony?
I'll come back to it later. Maybe. It's no use. As long as I can't put my finger on the central problem here, pressing the witness anymore would be extremely dangerous.
It appears that Mr. Wright has no problems. Well then, witness, please continue.
When I saw the name at the end of the letter, I thought my client to be a man. So you're saying that you never saw your client's face? Not even once?
I did, once. It was when I went to give my client the figurine.
Okay, well now there's a clear contradiction.
Yes, I see. But Miss Adrian Andrews was wearing a mask at the time. A mask.
The Nickel Samurai mask, I'm guessing.
Mr. Wright, what do you have to say about this? Do you have any problems with this piece of testimony?
Uh, yes, but I'm gonna back out and look at my shit first. I think I can pull something out of what he said, but it would be real bad if I did something that made him mad over something trivial. There are no problems with the testimony, Your Honor. Pretty much reached the end of our rope here. Huh? Seems like we're still okay to me. And that's exactly what is so bad. At the rate we're going, we will end up completely destroying the killer's lie. If we do that, you already know how serious of a situation that'll put us in. Oh, yeah. All I can do now is pray that those items reach us in time. Okay. Let me save again. Okay, so the problem here is that bear figurine given to Adrian. He says he didn't know she was a woman because she was wearing the outfit, though. A suicide note. Like Rita and Andrews know how to open it. But if he gave it to Adrian, he wouldn't have kept the note as part of her framing of Matt. She said she was gonna take the note herself and get rid of it, right? So this contradicts Adrian's testimony. Because she knows how to open it, so there's no reason she wouldn't have taken the note out and gotten rid of it, according to her testimony. Let's see. Gave it to Miss Andrews. There's a contradiction. So the killer says he gave the figurine to Miss Andrews, but I know somewhere in that statement there's a contradiction, and yet I know that if I present something trivial here, he'll cut the connection on his end. If you want to make a strong point, Phoenix, you have to present strong evidence. She's right. So now what, Dr. Wright? I mean, I don't feel like we got a choice. I feel like we gotta just keep moving things along and hope that we get the items back in time to, like, I don't know. If I wasn't supposed to present something, then it would have just advanced after I pressed all the entire testimony. So, witness, let's go over this one more time. You gave Miss Andrews the bear figurine, and she told you to take the bear and wait for her at On Guard Mansion. Is that correct?
Yes, where are you going with this?
Well, I think maybe you might have remembered a few things incorrectly.
What?
This is a battle of wits. I can't let up on him. I don't think it is possible for Miss Andrews to have been the recipient of this bear. Because of the note, right? Shelley the killer. If you had really given the bear to Miss Andrews, then this item should not have been inside it.
This item?
I see where you're going. Yep, that's where I'm going.
Where is everyone going? Do I need to pack a suitcase?
Your Honor, please think back to Miss Andrews' testimony. I was going to burn it for her sake. Yeah, okay, yeah. So. If even for a single minute this bear had actually been in Miss Andrews' hands, I'm sure she would have taken the suicide note out and burned it.
Order! 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 So that's where you two were going.
So by the very fact that the suicide note was still inside the bear, it tells us that your client didn't know how to disassemble the puzzle.
Which means...
It means, Your Honor, that it is impossible for Adrian Andrews to be the client. Wow.
Order! 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 Mr. Phoenix Wright. I'm sure I mentioned this before. How I hate traitors above all else. I think your cross-examination has clearly demonstrated something to me. You must wish to break your end of our agreement.
No, that's not.
That's enough. If that is your intention, then there is only one thing for me to do.
Wait, please.
Gentlemen, ladies, please, excuse me. I have a matter that I must attend to.
No, please, not that. Please wait.
Mr. Attorney, bring this trial to a speedy end and I may stay my hand. Otherwise... Ah! What in the... Mr. Wright, are you... Mr. Edgeworth?
Yes, Your Honor.
I didn't understand this witness's outburst just now. Do you think there's a need to hear more testimony, or is this enough?
Well, we should... Edgeworth, we can't do this. If we keep this up, Maya, she'll... Prosecution.
What has come over everyone? Even you are.
Prosecution rests.
What is going on around here?
Prosecution has no further questions, Your Honor.
What? Well, I never thought I'd see the day. This is a most unusual situation. The prosecution rests with no further questions, then the prosecution has failed to uphold its stance. That is the case, then even though I am reluctant, I must believe that Mr. De Killer's testimony is accurate. That would mean Shelley De Killer's client is Adrian Andrews. Mr. Wright?
Yes, Your Honor.
If I end the trial here, right now, then your client, Matt Ongard, would be declared innocent. And in his place, Adrian Andrews would be charged with murder.
Miss Andrews would be charged with murder. How the fuck are we gonna get out of this?
The prosecution has no further questions, so we will now hear the defense's final remarks. Bailiff, please bring the defendant, Matt Ongard, to the stand.
The items from De Killer's hideout didn't make it in time. We tried as hard as we could, but it looks like our time has run out. Can't believe it. The outcome now lies in your hands. Fuck.
Dude, did the old guy finally decide? To be honest, I can't think of you as a truly innocent and good person. You have done enough evil to drive a woman to suicide. But, at least on the charge of murder, it would appear you are innocent. So, I guess even the old fuddy-duddy figured me out. Mr. Ongard, what an atrocious lawyer I have, giving up his own client up like this. And that refreshing like a spring breeze crap, it's just as atrocious, don't you agree? Anyway, get on with it and pronounce me innocent already. Right, Mr. Lawyer?
Should I side with justice Or should I save Maya's life? Better get on guard a guilty sentence, okay? But if I did that, Maya will die. But if I say he's innocent, then Miss Andrews will be charged as the murderer. Do I say he's guilty or not guilty? Either choice I make, someone's life is gonna end. It all hinges on what I choose.
Now then, Mr. Wright, let's hear the defense's final statements on this matter. The person who hired the assassin was Adrian Andrews. Then your client, Mr. Matt Onguard, is innocent. There's no need to ask, old man. After all, my lawyer is gonna say what I want. Aren't you?
Right. I can't do this, but I have to decide something. I feel like I need to save. I'm scared. I can't count on the evidence to help me anymore. I have to listen to my heart. My client, Matt Onguard, is fuck. I mean, I don't want Maya to die, but like, and I want to believe that we could like give him the guilty verdict and get Maya back. You know what? I'm gonna trust that in Maya to get out of this somehow. Guilty.
We are waiting for your answer, Mr. Wright. Matt Onguard, your client, deserves an answer.
Maya, I'm sorry. Matt Onguard is with Francisca. Matt Onguard is Francisca von Karma. Oh shit! What a twist! No, she fucking made it.
What are you doing here? Ow!
You see now, don't you, Mr. Phoenix Wright? This is exactly why you should never take your eyes off of that scruffy fool. Did you bring them, the final pieces? Do you have them? You should know better than to ask that, Mr. Miles Edgeworth. A Von Karma is perfect in every way. The evidence is here in perfect condition. Don't worry about Scruffy, he's fine, and his injuries are minor. All of the items are inside this.
What a filthy old coat this is.
It's Gumshoes. I can spot his tattered rags anywhere. Rough. Never thought I'd be so happy to hear her whip, right? I was wondering how they were gonna bring Francisca around to be... how they were gonna try to Edgeworth her, where like Edgeworth was like your snotty rival, and then they brought him around at the end and made you sympathize with him more. They didn't do it as much with Von Karma, for sure. But when she's on our side, at least she is clearly a trustworthy ally. In most regards, I suppose. She pulls through. I apologize for its ugliness, but there was nothing else to wrap the items in. I fought long and hard this whole trial, all for what is inside that raggedy coat. I'm sure that inside that coat lies a crucial piece of evidence. Your Honor, inside that filthy coat are the defense's final pieces of evidence.
Your final evidence? This trial is already over. All that remains is for me to hand down my verdict. I do not believe that any evidence presented now would change the outcome of this trial.
What? Your Honor, it is our duty to examine every piece of evidence down to the last. I request that Miss Von Karma be allowed to present these pieces of evidence.
I suppose you are right, Mr. Edgeworth. I grant permission to do so. However, this one obvious rule applies here. If these items do not bring up any new points, they will not be accepted by this court. Now, Ms. Von Karma, if you please.
These pieces of evidence are items left by the killer during his escape from the police.
You must have been in quite a rush.
Yes, Your Honor. The killer left 3 pieces of evidence. Somewhere among the evidence we're about to see, there'll be something that'll turn this whole situation around, like a miracle. I'm sure of it. That's all we can hope for. The first item is a pistol. Does the killer's pistol have anything to do with this case? Is there any reason I shouldn't? Like if I question the wrong thing, does it fuck me over? I mean, I don't see why not. Does that pistol have any relation to this case? We have yet to perform a ballistics test, so I can't say anything for certain. However, I believe it has something to do with this case, at least with me. I do have a save, yeah. That's the pistol he used to shoot you, isn't it? That's what I believe, yes. Oh. I kept the bullet they removed from my shoulder as a sort of memento. I'm sure it will be an excellent sample for the test. So that's the pistol that was used to shoot Franziska. Probably not going to help us very much. Not in this, at least. Small caliber pistol that is thought to have been fired by the killer at Franziska. The second piece of evidence is this videotape. I bet the killer took that from On Guard Mansion. Have you checked the contents of that tape? Unfortunately, there was no time to. Oh, yeah. But I would speculate that this tape is very important.
Why would you say that?
Because he can come back to this hideout. Because he came back to his hideout for it. The killer went back for it? That's right. It looks like he was trying to recover it. He injured 3 of the officers at the site. But somehow it looks like they managed to protect it from the killer. Shelley the killer is no ordinary man. Videotape. One of these items retrieved. The killer violently tried to recover it. Contents unknown. The last piece of evidence is this bellboy's uniform. Is that a uniform from the Gatewater Hotel? Was that used during the crime? I'm almost certain it was. There's even a pair of black leather gloves in one of the pockets. There's no doubt about it. The killer was wearing this on the night of the murder. There is one thing I found interesting about this uniform. And what is that? There is a button missing on this uniform. A button. It's a very unique button. I'm sure if we were to recover it, it would provide us with an interesting clue. Bellboy's uniform, worn by the killer on the night of the murder. One of its special buttons is missing. That is all I have to present, Your Honor.
It's just as I thought.
And what is that, Your Honor?
I'm sure were we under normal circumstances, these items from Shelley the Killer's hideout would be very important clues. However, our question is not who did the killing.
It is who is the client.
Yes, that is correct. These 3 items do not tell us anything about that. Thank you for your hard work, Miss Von Karma. You may step down now.
Wait, Your Honor. Please allow me to examine this new evidence.
Overruled. This court already has all the evidence it needs to hand down a verdict.
Wonderful. Absolutely splendid. This judge is such a brilliant man, isn't he? Now he wants to be a competent judge, right? Is this the end? Phoenix. I knew it. There's no such thing as a miracle in this world, is there? I think you're wrong. I think they do exist, but you have to make that miracle happen. You've come this far. You can't give up now. But no matter how you think about it, it's try. For my sake, just think about it for a second. There are two ways out of this situation for us. Two? The first. Make On Guard wish from the bottom of his soul for a guilty verdict. Huh? The killer will always place his client's wishes first. If On Guard himself wishes to be convicted, then he will let his hostage go. That may be true, but that's asking me to do the impossible. The second way. Force the killer to end his contract with On Guard. If the killer were to no longer think of On Guard as his client, then he would let Maya go. Yeah, that's even more impossible. He's a man who values his duty towards his client above all else. I know both of these seem like impossible feats at first. But if you could make either one happen, it would truly be a miracle. The bigger problem is, the judge has already said he doesn't need any more evidence. Pieces he was just shown, he's not accepting them. Phoenix, think things through from the other side. Isn't that what has always worked for us? The other side? Wait, does she mean... You mean to turn things around? Phoenix, the judge says he doesn't need the evidence. If that's the case, then who does need it? The person who needs the evidence. The defense, prosecution, and the judge, we have seen all the pieces of evidence, and that is how we have come to know the truth. But there is one person who has yet to see them all. And that person does not know the truth. That truth, it may be what will bring about the miracle in the end.
There are no objections this time, correct? Now then, I will pronounce my verdict. Why don't we all respectfully sit back and listen, kids? I have already told you, Mr. Wright, this court does not need any more evidence.
I'm not saying it is us that needs the evidence, Your Honor.
Then you want to show the evidence to that person?
Yes, Your Honor. Please, Your Honor.
Mr. Wright, for you to ask with such passion, I will grant you one chance.
One chance.
Please show your evidence to who you think is the right person.
That's impossible to turn the situation around in one try.
One try, that is all I will permit.
Alright, maybe I do need to make a second save. I have to try to remember everything that has happened up to this point. Think, Phoenix, think! There must be a way to save Maya while taking On Guard down at the same time.
Now then, Mr. Wright, let's not waste any more time. Who would you like to show evidence to?
Maya. Okay. If we need to make On Guard. Thank you, Crier, for the daily dues. Welcome, welcome. We either need to make On Guard want to be guilty or make the killer want to no longer work with On Guard. The contents of the tape were that whole thing was set up by On Guard. So if it's what's on the tape that needs to be shown, then Matt probably already saw it. But has the killer not seen it? Even though he's like been lugging it around. I guess maybe he's only been doing it because Matt said so. Or has Matt not seen it because it's been in the killer's hands? Why is Winnie the Pooh here? There's a lot of bears in this case. As Exhibit A and B. I'm gonna go with my gut and say that the videotape has something that would convince the killer to drop Matt, and if I'm wrong, then it's the other way around, and we can just reload the save and show the videotape to Matt. But the killer has a much stronger, even though he's an assassin and stuff, he has a much stronger code of ethics that he sticks to as much as possible. And I think Matt is the type that would bend his morals to get what he wants. So that's my logic, and I'm sticking to it.
I see. And now, tell this court what one piece of evidence you would like to show this person.
The videotape.
Well, what do you think, Mr. Edgeworth?
I think there is some merit in showing this evidence to that witness.
Bailiff, please bring in the transceiver from earlier.
All right, it looks like I managed to convince him. Maya, she's okay, right?
Didn't I tell you to concern yourself with bringing about a speedy end to this trial? Now, if I understand correctly, you wish to show me one piece of evidence.
Yes, one is all I need. I have here a videotape. It was found at your hideout. I heard you injured 3 officers in your attempt to get this back.
It was most regrettable. However, it was an order from my client.
Okay, that's what I thought. And Matt was very insistent on keeping that tape from out of anyone's hands.
I was told to protect that videotape.
I thought so.
I'm afraid I seem to have failed in that regard.
Do you know the contents of this tape?
I was sternly told by my clients to not watch it, so I have absolutely no idea.
Actually, you are on this tape. That's why we need to show him the tape. Fuck, I didn't even think about that. I just knew that the tape was the newest piece of evidence, and that if we needed to show something to someone, that just made sense. But Matt has blackmail because he recorded the killer's face, and that goes against the killer's thing. Oh, shit. Okay. Yeah. There was a video camera hidden at the crime scene. Your actions were being recorded.
What? Is that true, Mr. Wright? Who was it that planted a camera?
Well, the only person who could have placed a camera at the scene of the crime would be your client, naturally.
That was Adrian Andrews.
Be quiet and listen, Your Honor.
Yes, sir.
Your client specified a place and time for you. Isn't that right?
Yes.
That was so they could film you.
I had no idea. Mr. Wright, why would my client do such a thing? I would like to know why.
Why did Matt On Guard film the crime scene? The reason why he did that is my ticket out of this whole mess. There's only one I should have saved. Fuck. Oh, wait, I already know. I wanted to blackmail you. Never mind. Okay, I just know what the answer is. Cool. There's only one reason why your client would secretly film the crime scene. They wanted to blackmail you. Your client once told me the world was gonna roll me. I ain't the sharpest tool in the shed. Your client once told me something very interesting. We were talking about you, and this is what they said.
But I'm no weakling. I don't believe anyone, least of all assassins. Oh, come now, Mr. Wright. Assassins aren't above blackmail. Yes, that's where the video comes in. With that, I can keep him at bay, and even blackmail him if I want.
Fuck, he just straight up told us, and it's just been so long since that bit that I forgot. Oh, man. It was such a long case. Your client didn't trust you at all. They were thinking of using this video to blackmail you. Honestly, some of these cases are so wacky, and I feel like a fucking anime protag the way I go. I know what the answer is. I just don't know why that's the answer, but I can feel it in my bones. But I feel like the opposite side of that is there's definitely people who play these games and take like really good notes, so they can like flip through their notes and be like, ah, yes, right here, I wrote this thing down that this character said and highlighted it, and that's why this is this. Because a lot of the times, uh, I feel like I kind of figure certain puzzle or certain bits out because of video game logic, honestly. Like, oh, I just got this, and also this just happened, so obviously these two things combined is what I'm supposed to do. Um, I would like to watch somebody play this who does take like really good notes and can like flip through their notes and specifically tell you like, well, this is the answer because this thing. I love how they can make time duration an obstacle. Yeah, because like you'd have to have done like the second half of the case in one go, and even then, that you've read a lot of dialogue since then. So remembering that one specific line, uh, or I guess the handful of lines, but you get what I mean. They were thinking of using this video to blackmail you. What do you have to say to that, Shelley the Killer?
Mm. Oh. It looks like I was being deceived from the very beginning.
Yes, by a natural. That is the kind of person they are. Your client is a person who only thinks and plots of how to use the people around them to protect themselves from any and all dangers that may arise. That is the true nature of your client. I have one question for the witness.
Yes.
You told us one thing numerous times during your testimony. You said that you detest traitors most of all. I got in my last save, by the way, not overwrite. Okay.
Yes, that's right.
But what if that traitor was your own client? What would you do then?
That's obvious. I would break our contract in that case. And then that client would become my next target. For the honor of the killer name, even if it takes an eternity, I would follow that person to the ends of the earth to exact my punishment.
Is this how we're gonna get On Guard to want a guilty sentence so he's behind bars and can't be murdered? Because I was thinking, I was like, I have no idea how you would convince On Guard to want to be guilty. I see. That's all I wanted to know. So the traitor becomes the killer's next target. I get it. This is how we'll turn this case around.
Mr. Wright,
Yes.
my contract with my client is over as of now. I seem to have a new job on my hands. I will now return to you your precious item.
What the? I'm not an item. Beep. I totally forgot I was that whole time he was on the stand that I originally was doing a bit where anytime he talked over the thingy, I did the voice change thingy. Fuck. Too late. It's over. I think we literally just had the final line from The Killer for the whole game. Rip. Maya, I never thought I'd see you again. Oh, thank goodness.
This trial appears to have come to its conclusion. However, I'm sort of... I don't quite know what just happened there with the client and the witness, and...
I didn't do it at all last stream. That's what I did it every time up until the killer got on the witness stand. I think I got surprised by the killer being on the witness stand through the walkie-talkie that I didn't even think about it until like literally just now. Because when it made the beep, it like clicked it in my brain. I was like, oh, that's right, because he's on a walkie-talkie. I was doing the bit. but it's fine.
Miss Von Karma, where did that...
She always has you in her sights. Now, I do believe it's time to finally hand down a verdict. Mr. On Guard, it looks like somehow you got what you wanted. At this point, it doesn't even matter if he gets it guilty or not guilty, does it? He's either going to jail forever or he's gonna get fucking murdered. You'll finally receive the acquittal you've wanted so badly. You should be happy. But before that, I would like to make one final statement. Sometime in the near future, one very betrayed assassin may appear before you. Needless to say, that man is very good at what he does. I'm sure you would understand what I mean if you watch this video.
Oh, me?
Now then, Your Honor, the verdict, if you please.
Is that all right with you, Mr. Wright?
We finally reached the end of a very long battle. Can save here, see both ways. Okay. Cool. Whether he's convicted or acquitted, there's no escape for him now. Okay. I want to see what happens if we say he gets to go free. I kind of first, and then, but I think we'll put him in jail for like I guess it is. I don't know if there's like a canonical ending, but we'll do that for the second one. But I really just want to see the reaction of like, all right, you're free, you can go, have fun. Is if I could only pick one, that is the one I would pick. I like the idea of like giving him what he wanted, but like right at the end, now, you know, it's a death sentence. Whether he's convicted or acquitted, there is no escape for him now. Go on, Phoenix. Plead whichever way your heart tells you. Right, Chief. Congratulations, Mr. Matt On Guard. Please make sure to savor every moment of what little time you have left. Your Honor, as always, the defense pleads not guilty.
Very well. This court finds the defendant Matt On Guard. Please, wait. What's the matter? If I get a not guilty, I'll be killed. I'm no!
Oh my god.
Guilty, 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 guilty!
Is this the plot of Guilty Gear?
As always, it looks like we have uncovered the real truth.
I don't remember you helping out much in this.
Mr. Edgeworth, how is Matt On Guard?
I have left Miss Von Karma in charge of his incarceration. I'm sure he's getting a full course meal of whipped leather right about now.
Very good. That was a close one, wasn't it, witness?
Yes, I plan to pay my debt to society for my own crime, Your Honor. The first time I was called to the witness stand during this trial, all I felt was despair. I'm wondering at what point it is the same, but I guess I can just reload and we'll find out. She must be talking about the time Edgeworth really went after her. I guess she's trying to forgive him for what he did. This witness, how should I put it? She has an illness. If you're going to say you would choose death, that is of no concern to me. Judgy, we have some Go-Gurt for you, and here's a fidget spinner. I wouldn't mind having a fidget spinner, honestly, or something similar. I feel like I should have gotten one when it was popular and they were like everywhere, and I'm sure they're still around all the time. I just don't really pay attention to anything when I'm at the store, except specifically what I'm there for. But I do often like pick stuff up, fidget with it in my hand. But after that, when I was alone at the detention center, it's the first time I really saw myself for who I am. Granted, if I'm like watching a show or something and I want to fidget with something, I will pick up my bass and just kind of play around on that a little bit. Which is arguably a more productive thing to fidget with because it helps uh, me maintain a skill. Uh, and today, when the two of you used your combined strength to convict Matt, I I felt like I had finally been saved. Wow, this is the first time I've ever seen her smile. I'm really happy that you two were in charge of this case. I really don't know how to express how I feel at this moment. This is the first time I've felt comfortable with myself, with who I am. Thank you so much, everyone. It's kind of crazy seeing her smile here at the end with how cold she's been the whole game. But it is something that I think that they do a good job of with some of these cases, with some of the cases at least, is like how like hopeless the client is the entire time you know them, and then once it's all over, that like seeing that relief they feel knowing that it's finally wrapped up. She can now pursue new lesbian lovers. True.
It looks like we have resolved everything at last. As for myself, there are still a few things I'm confused about. But everyone seems to be in good spirits, and that is good enough for me. That is all. This court is adjourned.
Adrian is going straight to the nearest gay bar. March 23rd, 5:14 p.m. District Court Defendant Lobby number 3. You were great out there, Phoenix. What I did out there was right, wasn't it? Hope he remembers where he parked. He does that thing where he walks into the parking lot and sets off his car alarm to find his car. This is the first time you've not gotten your client off. Straight, we're going gay to the nearest gay bar. True. You got them a guilty verdict this time, but you have to look past all of that to what's really important. You now realize that there's something more than just getting a not guilty, right? Yes, I understand now. Phoenix, think back for a second. Think to the moments before Miss Von Karma arrived with the final pieces of evidence. Think about the incredible Think about the incredible decision you had to make.
Now then, Mr. Wright, let's hear the defense's final statements on this matter.
I can't count on the evidence to help me anymore. I have to listen to my heart. Should I side with justice or should I side with Maya's life? He is guilty, or is he guilty, or is he not guilty? Those were your choices then, and your answer spoke to what being a lawyer means to you. Right. Edgeworth. I have good news. Maya is now safe in police custody. Really? Pearls, you're telling the truth, right, Mr. Edgeworth? Yes, she's quite safe. She's on her way here as we speak in a patrol car. Ah, Mr. Maya's safe. You did it. You really did it, Mr. Nick. Oh, she punches deceptively hard for a kid. I believed in you. I kept saying to myself, Mr. Nick will save her. Mr. Nick will save her. There, Pearls. Thanks. Oh, what's wrong? Miss Von Karma. About earlier, thanks. Ow! Why are you still smiling? Mr. Phoenix Wright? You lost. Your perfect win record has now been crushed, and yet you are still happy. I don't think you'll ever understand, Miss Von Karma. How dare you? Don't worry. She may in time. After all, I was like that myself until a year ago. Edgeworth? For my own personal victories and for guilty verdicts. I used every dirty trick in the book, and so my win record remains spotless, but A man appeared and stood fast against that selfish me. I fought him in my usual manner and tasted my first defeat. I felt like I had lost everything because of that. And then it was my turn to sit in the defendant's chair. And I was saved by that person I called my enemy. I couldn't forgive myself for all that had happened, so I left the prosecutor's office. And I left that note. Prosecutor Miles Edgeworth chooses death. As well you should have. A prosecutor who has shamed himself with defeat should crawl into a hole and die. We already beat you on Karma. But that was not what happened. After I left the prosecutor's office, I finally came to realize something. It was in that moment of clarity that everything began to change. What foolish nonsense. We prosecutors use anything we can to attack the defendant. But every time we did so, no matter how desperate the situation, instead of giving up like most people, that man would hold strong with his undying faith. And then before I knew it, I began to trust in that man as well. What? You trusted your enemy? Doesn't matter how many underhanded tricks a person uses. The truth will always find a way to make itself known. The only thing we can do is to fight with the knowledge we hold and everything we have. Erasing the paradoxes one by one. It's never easy. We claw and scratch for every inch. But we will always eventually reach that one single truth. This, I promise you. The truth? Yes. That's the reason why prosecutors and defense attorneys exist. But I'm sure you knew that already, didn't you, Wright? That's why you couldn't forgive me. This man who went into hiding. Isn't that right? This man who only had his sights set on victory. Who ran away into the night. Is Mr. Edgeworth right, Mr. Nick? You really let me down. When you disappeared, I felt betrayed. The reason I decided to become a lawyer to begin with was because I believed in the things you said to me. All those years ago. The boys. And you betrayed your own words. That's why, 1 year ago, I made up my mind. I decided that the Miles Edgeworth I knew had died. At least, that's what I told myself. You pathetic fool. Miss Von Karma. I don't want to hear the wretched whimpering of a disgraced loser. Von Karma is someone who is destined to be perfect. Miles Edgeworth, you are no longer worthy. You are no longer worthy of being a Von Karma, and neither am I. It's over. It's all over. Francisca threw something on the ground just now. This is an electromagnetic receiver. Isn't that the thing she used to track Detective Gumshoe? I'll return this to the precinct later. There's something else. Oh my god, she left her whip? Isn't that Miss Von Karma's whip? I'll never set foot in another courtroom again. I'm sure that's what she's saying by this action. You should keep this right. Okay. Nick. Amaya! Maya! Mystic Maya! Mystic Maya! You should use this on me, right? Tonight. Yay! Oh, Nick, I knew you would come through. You got on guard convicted like I knew you would. And on top of that, you even rescued me. Well, of course I did. You know I'd never desert you. But we sure pressed our luck this trial. You're really lucky to be standing here. Whatever. Look, it's over, okay? Besides, if I did croak, I'd just come back and haunt you like a bad ghost through Pearly. Is it really that easy to do something like that? I mean, Mia does it all the time. Thanks a lot, Nick. Don't mention it. Maya. Oh, Mr. Edgeworth. I'm relieved you're all right. Hey, looks like you made some real progress, Mr. Edgeworth. Well, I suppose I'm a little different from who I was a year ago. Heh. Oh yeah, we should get her food. I've been starving her for days. All right, I think it's time we got out of this depressing place. Huh? Where are we going? Burger stat. Food, Nick. Food. Grub. Chow. I'm starved. I'm so hungry. Even you look like a nice juicy burger on a bun to me, Nick. Oh, whoa. Whoa, Maya, save it. Save it for later. Pearls is right there. You think I look like a burger? I'm a prime rib at least. Come with us, Mr. Edgeworth, please. If you insist. All right, so how about we hit up our usual burger joint? Don't be silly, Nick. Huh? This case messed up that awesome evening and got in the way of my gourmet food. So I've decided that we have to make it up by having another feast. Another feast? Come on, Nick. Food! March 23rd, 7:38 p.m. Gatewater Hotel lobby.
Hey, pal. Sorry to keep you guys waiting.
Gumshoe, are you all right?
Yeah, but I'm really embarrassed. You didn't think I'd hit a telephone pole of all things. Or I didn't think I'd hit a telephone pole of all things.
A telephone pole? Then it wasn't a red light that got him? I totally thought he got T-boned at a red light. You did it again, city boy. I felt like my dear old heart was gonna give out on me, and I ain't joking.
Yeah, it was more exciting than the very last episode of The Steel Samurai.
Thanks. Now looky here, Mr. Snooty Prosecutor. Don't you reckon you bullied Mr. Wright too hard? Telephone pole came out of nowhere. If you don't start being a lot nicer to him, he might just kick it tonight even. I'll keep that in mind. Well, come on now. Everyone gather round. Y'all are gonna get your picture taken by a genuine professional photographer. Looks like Lotta bought herself a new camera.
Well, pal, at least we can put this messy case behind us now. Come on, tonight's all about eating, so let's go chow down, pal.
Amen to that, pal. Amen.
You know, when you think about it, you were the one who saved me that day, Detective. Huh? Me? You really think so?
He's right. If it wasn't for the 3 items you took, I think this trial would have had a very different ending.
Well, you know, it's...
Huh?
Wait. That's odd. When I ran off with the things from the killer's hideout, I was sure I took 4 things in total, sir.
What? 4?
Yeah, I'm sure I put one of the items in my coat pocket.
There was a 4th item? Ah, come on, y'all. It's over. But, oh boy, I tell you, you really are something else. What was the 4th item? Between getting accused of murder and getting kidnapped, never a dull moment with you, huh? You think? Why does she look so happy about that? But being shut away for 2 whole days, weren't you scared? Yeah, it was really scary. I felt so hopeless. So to keep my mind off of things, I drew a picture. Sounds like you had it rough, gal. So where's this picture of yours? Maya is a freak. In the best ways. Yeah, I want to see it. I want to see Mystic Maya's picture. You know, I don't know where it went. Oh, that's too bad. Well, it's alright. It wasn't anything important anyway. It sure is nice to finally see them both smiling again. What is it, Edgeworth? This thing is picking something up.
That's Miss Von Karma's receiver. Thanks to her, I had the most awful experience of my life, sir. Can't believe she stuck a tracking device on me.
That's odd, even though you're standing right here. The tracking device seems to be in a different location.
It's probably busted or something, sir.
Who's it tracking? Well, it doesn't matter. I'm afraid it's about time for me to excuse myself. I still have some work to do. Huh? But Mr. Edgeworth, you haven't even eaten anything yet. And you've eaten way too much, you glutton. I had fun tonight. Now, if you'll excuse me. Wait. What? I just want to say, thanks, Edgeworth. You really saved me out there. If anyone should be saying thanks, it should be me, right? I feel like words alone aren't enough here. We have to kiss. Wonder if there's anything I can give him to express how I feel? My heart? Stuffed bear figurine. Has a certain mysterious nostalgia to it. Nice. It's either the whip because we just got that, or it's the bear. I don't know. Bear's a little weird though. All right, Edgeworth. Turn around and touch your toes. What's this? Thank you. It's all thanks to you two. You and her. You don't need to thank me. I was only doing my job. Looks like Mr. Edgeworth has left, Mr. Nick. Hey, Mystic Maya? Yes, Pearly? Guess you two can go back to being lovey-dovey, right? You and Mr. Nick, I mean. Pearly, would you cut it out already? You're embarrassing me.
Anyway, so who's paying for this lovely dinner party?
As if you need to ask. Everyone say thank you to Nick. Huh?
Yeah, I'm kind of at the point where I can't even buy instant noodles, pal.
So I kind of already put your name on the bill. Huh? Huh? Yeah, I got me a situation just like that myself. There's this camera shop in this hotel, you see, and I just bought myself this good old beauty here. It better be anyhow for 3,000. Huh? Actually, I reckon you brought it for me since it's on your tab and all. Isn't that just great, Mr. Nick? Yeah, Nick. Why do I suddenly feel like screaming? Oh, you don't need to hold back now, you hear?
Yeah, pal, time to let it all out.
It's gonna be the first time I hear the real you. Go on, it's been a while since I heard you say it. I've been busy being a hostage and all. Alright then, if you say so. Amazing. Hell yeah. It came through from you, Nick. I had to hide that letter, but I knew you'd find it. I really feel like I've been living on the edge lately. I mean, I've escaped death 3 times now. Pretty cool, huh? I feel like a pro. I can't control the speed. What a game indeed. I had a lot of issues with the circus case, but the rest of the game was great. So happy that you could save Mystic Maya, Mr. Nick. And I'm so happy for the two of you. Speaking of which, I think this hotel is a popular place for honeymooners, so I sort of made reservations for the two of you, just in case. How? You're like 8. Poor Acro. Yeah.
Well, pal, it looks like I'm back on the force again. Mr. Edgeworth had a long talk with the chief, and he got me reinstated for my sake. I heard he said things like letting that one go is bad for all of society. I knew it. Crashing headlong into everything is the only way to live, pal.
Well, that explains how he's gonna be relevant to the 3rd game, at least. Pearl's, Mia took over Pearl's body, so she looked like an adult. I don't remember your voice. I, Maggie Bird, am retiring this uniform as of today, sir. I'm gonna be a waitress from now on. And bring smiles and joy to the people who come by the restaurant, sir. I hope you'll stop by sometimes, Wright. I just know she was very excitable. Crazy. She said a cab. So real. Yes, are you here to visit a patient? I'm Director Hottie. Recently, yes, that girl, you know. I haven't seen her around. Yes. But I remember, even if I even laid so much as a eye on her, it would go crack. Yeah, it didn't matter if I got whipped, though. Yes. Main programmer, Tadaki Yamamoto.
It's time to begin our quest. Oh, shit. And to let the world know we are serious, I plan to make a fabulous flight to Zimbabwe.
Hey, Max, what do you think Zimbabwe's like? Do you think there are castles made of cake and bunnies who can talk?
I think if there are any talking bunnies, even they won't laugh at most jokes.
I agree, but also stop reminding me about everyone who wants to get cheeky with the 16-year-old.
I'm ready. There's no way those jokes are gonna fall on deaf ears. I'm gonna be more contemporary with my humor. Mo curls, represent. We got it all in a new act all worked out.
Fuck.
Say something, will ya? You're supposed to start this off. Get on with it.
Hard to swap to the correct voices and then read everything fast enough. I don't know who's gonna pop up when.
Wait, what's this? Drat, it's just an ordinary electric fucking blah, 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 blah. I can't believe this, really. How long do they plan to making me do this? But it's Edgy Poo's idea, so that means it must have a deep hidden meaning. But why do I get the feeling they wouldn't forget about me, would they? It was never like this in the old days. Everyone thought the world of me. They used to call me Queen Wendy and treat me like royalty, and any man who wasn't...
Oh, okay, I'm not even... Yeah. You go off, old bag. I appreciate everything you and Mr. Edgeworth did for me from the bottom of my heart. Oh, that's right. I received a letter from Miss Von Karma. She said that after I get out, I should feel free to consult her about anything at all. I'm really thankful to have met everyone. To be fair, if I was reading this and not doing voices, this is probably about the speed that I would read this game at anyway, and it wouldn't really be an issue. Lesbians? I mean, hey.
It has become difficult for me in this country as of late. As such, I will take a short leave of absence. If you would like to request my services, please be sure to visit my homepage. May we both be blessed with longevity.
Kaboom. The real question is how many of these characters are going to pop up in later games and how much won't. I was not expecting people from the Steel Samurai case to be in this game. March 23rd, 9:42 p.m. International Departures Gate 12. Okay. Is honestly a lot longer than I thought it was going to be. Not that I mind. I'm just surprised how much is getting wrapped up. Where are you going, Francisca? How did you know I was here? With this. Okay, it was tracking Francisca. That's... I heard you were planting things on a certain person. Things like tracking devices in his coat, for example. That's just like you. I only planted it there because he was always wearing it. This filthy drab coat of his. I don't know how it ended up in my luggage, but it's going in the trash, I promise you that. Oh, that's right. Speaking of that man, I'm gonna be so real. Every time she talks about fucking Gumshoe, the more I'm just like, she's down bad for Mr. We Have Columbo at Home. Uh, he told me something very interesting. I don't know how his dirty, used jacket that smells like him ended up in my luggage. That's crazy. What? When I ran off with the things from the killer's hideout, I was sure I took 4 things in total, sir. 4 things. Seems he put the last one in his coat pocket. Put it in here. It doesn't matter anymore. The case is already over. What are you going to do now? It's none of your business. Are you running away? Shut up! You don't understand a thing. You can't possibly understand what it means to be Manfred von Karma's daughter. Francisca. So many expectations from everyone around me. Expectations I must fulfill. I'm expected to win no matter what. In failure, such a thing is not an option for me. My father was a genius, there's no doubt about that, but me, I'm no genius. I've always known that. But I had to be one. I had to. You may not be a genius like your father. Edward's gonna be Manfred von Karma's daughter in next game for sure. Mayhaps. Although I have seen a guy who I'm pretty sure is a prosecutor that wears like a weird sci-fi visor. So I'm wondering if he's like the main prosecutor in this game. But I have no clue. I don't know nothing about the third game, I'm pretty sure, except I think there's like some girl named Dahlia who dresses up real fancy. But I don't know if she's from that game or a different one. I've just like seen her before. What? You are a prosecutor, and you have been and always will be. No, I'm not. Not anymore. I've even thrown my whip away. Speaking of that, Wright gave this to me to hold on to. Right. You knew something like this would happen, didn't you? Is that allowed through customs? I'm going to say this again. We prosecutors do not fight for personal honor or pride. I hope you will think deeply about what you should be striking down with that whip. You haven't changed a bit. You've always left me alone and walked on ahead without me. Miles Edgeworth, I've always hated you. And then, finally, my chance to take my revenge on you arrived. If I could win against that man, if I could make Phoenix Wright bow down in defeat, then this girl you left behind would have risen higher than you. That was supposed to be my revenge. I see. You know, I can't do it. I can't change who I am. I can't throw away everything I've been until today. I believe you can. Just like how Adrian Andrews did. Adrian Andrews? You were going to use her during the trial, right? But you were dependent on your father by using his tactics. Isn't that right? Today you chased after me, and after I had left you behind all these years. And that's why we're standing here now, side by side. But I have no intention of stopping. You say you're going to quit your walk down the prosecutor's path. Then this is where we part ways, Francisca von Karma. Whoa. I am Francisca von Karma. Don't think I'm going to walk in your shadow forever. Our battle begins now, so you'd better prepare yourself, Miles Edgeworth. Aww. We finally broke through her outer shell. Phoenix Wright. One day, someday, I'm sure we'll meet again in battle. Until then, this last piece of evidence that never made it to you. I'll take good care of this fourth piece so I can give it to you when at last we meet again. Now I really want to know what the fourth piece of evidence was. Oh, it's the thing Maya drew. That's adorable. Both the fact that Maya drew it and the fact that Von Francisco wants to keep it. Wowee. What a good game. That was a great time. All right, I'm going to take a break and then we're going to load up and we're going to see. I want to go back and see how much changes if you. I don't think a lot's going to change if you say. Because we said not guilty, but if you say guilty, I don't think a lot's going to change. But I'll read through, and then the other one, I don't remember where exactly we stopped, but we'll load that one back up. Anyway, BRB. Oh, Haito. All right. Let's see. Since we're, well, it's more comfortable. I was gonna say I might just use the mouse for the rest of this, but the controller's more comfortable. Okay. Plead guilty. Matt on guard. Even though I am a lawyer, I cannot make your crime disappear. I think a guilty verdict is appropriate here.
Me? My wonderful self? Guilty?
Even if you got an acquittal, the instant you set foot outside the detention center, your life would be in danger. No matter which way you look at it, you can't run away from your crime anymore. Cool. Looks like we've uncovered the truth. Full horse meal of whip leather. Okay, yeah. Load. This one. Remember everything that has happened up to this point. Think, Phoenix, think. There must be a way to save Maya while taking On Guard down at the same time. What would I like to show evidence to? Okay, I'm just gonna ask if there's a specific thing I need to do here for what we saved for. My badge. Give you anything. Oh, okay. It's just get it wrong. Okay.
Well, what do you think, Mr. Edgeworth?
I don't have anything to say about this.
How about you, Miss Von Karma?
Show my badge to my badge. Well, I was just shot, so...
Afraid I cannot allow the defense to continue. What? No one understands what you're talking about anymore.
Wait, please, one more chance. My badge, though.
That is enough, Mr. Wright. I will now state my verdict. This court finds the defendant Matt on guard not guilty. So all this court is adjourned.
Just like that, the case, and I ran away from the courtroom and wandered the streets alone. Oh, shit. I never saw Maya again. The killer is a man of his word, so I'm sure he released her as promised. I heard the verdict of Miss Andrews' trial a few days later. She was found guilty, of course. The miracle never happened. Maybe it was never meant to. Because a miracle is something that doesn't exist. Damn, they worked in a full-on bad ending. If you get it wrong. Neat. Kind of glad it's short. Also, yeah, I was just shot, so it's great. Art book. Because a Noel is just a Noel. Correct. Oh man, there's so much art. This is from the first game. Hell yeah. Memories. Hmm. Ah, spoilers. I mean, I don't. I guess seeing some of the characters from it is not that big a deal. Okay, cool. All right, sick. Edwards being a twink and Phoenix being a hunk just seems wrong. Yeah. They can draw them however they like. They made the game. Cool. Doobie doo wah. All right, let me pull up my thingy. Let's see. Boop. All right. I think the big question I'm gonna have to think about is if I liked this one more or less than the first one. Is Phoenix a himbo? Kinda. In some ways. I mean, he's strong enough to bust down that door, so I mean, he's decently strong, right? Uh, oop, 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 oop. Yeah, I think Phoenix is less of a honk and more of a twonk. Let's see. Phoenix, Wright, Ace Attorney, Justice for all. Okay. How do I delete my own message? You're trapped forever. Okay. So the question is, did I like it more or less than the first game? It seems like a good place to start. Hmm. I think that the circus case was probably my least favorite across both games. Um, but I think that uh, both the uh, mini mini uh, case and or Mimi Mini case and the uh, on guard case were both really, really good and probably I would probably say better than any of the cases in the first game. Uh, I think. Hmm. See, because I've played the bonus game in case one, and I am rating the game based on how much I like the bonus or the bonus case. But it is a little weird in that regard because the bonus case is being such a long case makes game one, if you do the bonus case at the after beating game one, it makes the first game so much longer. It feels like. I think I like case three more than case one. I like the mini cases because they do. I feel like they do. They aren't like dropping major crazy revelations on you nonstop. They're just meant to be fun little bits at the start to kind of dip you in, and I think they do exactly what they're supposed to do. Still consider that separate. I mean, it is definitely Suppo. Um, the bananas. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That was fun. No, I like the first cases because I think they do exactly what they're supposed to do, which is to be like simple cases to make sure you got the hang of how the game works. Um, and such. I like them. Hmm. I mean, I guess the thing about I was gonna say the interesting thing about doing a replay uh, of these games is you can tech once you've done a case, it stays unlocked. You could just do the cases you liked. I could if I wanted to come back to this game in my free time in like 5 years, I could just skip case 3 and not even do it, which does make doing replays of these games fun. I don't remember how much of case 3 is really important. Guess I didn't pick the dialogue where they said this witness loves bananas. I don't think so. There's probably a lot of optional, like, silly stuff that I didn't get. Uh, TVF. Um, yeah, but judging them on like a first playthrough, uh, I hmm, it's tough. It's very tough. It's also been a bit since I played the first game. Just trying to think. Um, hmm. I think one thing I'm gonna give that I think is like a pretty is a big positive to the first game is that it's a standalone. But I feel like it would be pretty I feel like there's a lot of stuff that you couldn't fully enjoy in this game if you didn't play the first game, which like some people would say is not bad because some people would say, well, yeah, it's part of a series, so you should play the series in order. But I do appreciate being able to jump into a series wherever and not really mattering where you jump in. Um, though I also kind of respect the like the fact that so much of the late game's emotional weight relies on you having played the first game. I can respect like going all in on that. I'm going to say that I think I would put the first game slightly higher, but I think I'm literally just gonna have them like next to each other. Just because I feel like um the first game works better as a standalone. I think that's like the tiebreaker for me. Um I refined a lot of what game one did. Yeah. I like Case 4 a lot. It requires you to have played all of game one. Uh I would actually go I'd say something potentially controversial that I think the Magatama is does slightly more harm than good. I think personally it makes the exploration in it chapter or parts of the game more of a pain. Um, I think one thing this is definitely a person to person thing. I kind of preferred that investigation sections were just investigation sections, uh, and you didn't have to worry about like losing HP, especially because that carries over into the court. Like your court room HP will carry over into the investigation and such. You do get healing whenever you do the Magatama bits. Uh, to be fair, um, I liked that the two gameplay sections were more separate in the first game. Um, I think making the investigation bits more complicated wasn't bad, uh, but I would have it kind of was just like a mini. Each of those was like a mini. Uh, what's the word? Cross examination section. It if they were gonna add new gameplay bits to the investigation, I wish it had been something that didn't just feel so similar to being in the courtroom. I would like it to have been something that was like a little more unique from what you're already doing in the courtroom sections, because it makes the investigation sections feel more like the courtroom sections, I think. So there's less, you don't get as much of a break when you're doing one or the other. They bleed together a lot more. Um, I would be curious to see if they keep that in the third game and how they refine it though. Um, but I really feel like if there's one thing I can give to both games, it's that I feel like I can't really put them anywhere except right next to each other. Even if I'm putting the first game above the second, it's pretty damn close. Um, and yeah, if the third game is at least, it ends up being at least in my top 40 whenever I play it, then I this will be very much a trilogy that I would recommend to basically anyone who likes this sort of stuff. I don't ever hear people talk about anything past the trilogy, if I'm being honest, though. I know nothing about any of the other games. I only ever hear people talk about the original trilogy. Um, and I own the Phoenix Wright versus Professor Layton, and I played like up through the first Phoenix, the first Ace Attorney case part of the game, but I didn't beat it. Partly because I kind of felt like that game's going to be a lot more fun if I had played all of the Ace Attorney and Professor Layton games that came before it. So I'll probably play that game eventually, but not until I've played a bunch of Ace Attorney and Professor Layton. Anyway, but yeah, um, it'll. I definitely am not going to play the third game anytime this year. Honestly, there's a good chance that it'll that it'll be a good year plus before I play the third one. Um, Playing multiple games from the same series back to back isn't always necessarily bad, but these games are kind of long, and I kind of prefer putting time between two games from the same series when I can. Um, so I'd say like absolute earliest, like spring of next year, but probably I may, if I haven't played it by the time chapter 6 comes, assuming chapter 6 comes out in uh June of next year as well, maybe I'll do like a similar thing where I'll wait until after chapter 6 of Deltarune drops, play that, give it a week or two, and then jump into game 3 of this, and it'll kind of be like, you know, almost sort of a throwback, I guess. Yeah, that's fair. Um I've been doing the MLP thing, and I've been doing it bi-weekly, so I haven't felt as much like I needed breaks between seasons, because there's already 2 weeks in between each watch session anyway, but I'm probably gonna start doing those weekly. So I'm probably gonna start, um, breaking up seasons, like having one long show that we're slowly watching through, and then watching, uh maybe a few movies or like a shorter show that's like, I don't know, maybe like an anime that's like 12 episodes long or something in between seasons of the longer show that we're doing. So I do feel ya. Um, let's see. But yeah, cool. Um, that is it. Emoji movie stream. I'd be willing to sit through that. Is a Discord movie night if it's just available for free on like YouTube or something, and I knew that at least a handful of people were actually going to show up and watch it. Um, I'm not willing to put in the time to torrent it or pirate it, and I'm not paying money for emoji. Kung Fury, fair enough, fair enough. I don't know what I'm gonna do after season 6 of MLP, but we'll worry about that when we finish season 6 of MLP. Anyway, Yerp, that is Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney Justice for All. We have wait, I think that was game 250. Let me double check. I think we've now beaten 250 games on stream. Let me check. Yep. Very cool. All right. The Transcentennial. Bitranscentennial. Bisexual trans woman. Anyway. No, that was a good game though. Very good. A lot of fun. I'd argue even if there's like ends up being a large gap between my enjoyment of the third game and the first two, if the third game ends up at least in my top 100 whenever we get to it, I'll still be pretty satisfied with my playthrough of the trilogy. So yeah. All right. Anyway, let's wrap up. Like I said, we'll be watching more of MLP Season 6 in the Discord this weekend on Saturday. Tomorrow, we are going to be continuing In Stars and Time, the third stream of that. It's been pretty cool so far. Friday, we're going to be playing Pokemon Channel. Friendship really is magic. It do be. Let's see. Sunday will also be In Stars and Time, as well as next Tuesday. And next week, we'll be alternating between In Stars and Time and Pikmin, the first Pikmin. And yeah, that's what's coming up. BPR, go follow Ringo, my artiste, very cool, and Video Peak. And here is the raid message for anyone who wants to join in for that. And I will go see if I can find somebody to raid. Yep. Skibbity beep beep bitty beep beep. Beepity beepity beep beep. Interesting. I see someone who has, as far as I know, not streamed in a very long time. Enough butter. You've been here when I rated Sharky. They're good friends with them. And both of them are also friends with my artiste Ringo. So we'll go raid them since I don't know if they're planning on streaming much, so we may not really get to. So let's do that. Anyway, playing Nevi's Fleet Command. I don't know what that is, but you know, it's like some kind of space game. Anyway, thanks for coming out. Have a good day, good night, whatever it is for you, and I will see you in the next stream. Mwah.